Meanwhile, a big chance now for the Middlebury Panthers. You can see they're pretty fired up on the near sideline.
Annie Leonard did a great job. She had a beautiful stick fake right bringing down the ball down, and I was able to get that pass off into the circle.
A little more pressure here now on Messiah goalkeeper Shelby Landis. She's only given up 11 goals in 22 games this year. That's incredible. On the insert, right from the top of the circle, it gets banged around. A great play, the ball deflects into the crease. 3 different players swatted at it, nobody could put it in the cage. Aaron Nicholas had a great chance as they line up for another penalty corner. Nicholas laid it back off to Annie Leonard. Kelly Coyle was there too. Panthers couldn't believe it didn't go in as Audrey Quirk gets ready to send it to the top of the circle once more. Off to the left-hand side, back to the right. A great look right in front of the net, and it trickles home. Middlebury on top 1-0, 10 minutes into the game.
What a great redirection right there.
Pretty confident that Kelly Coyle is the one that will get credited with the goal. And for Kelly Coyle, that is just her 3rd goal of the season, and it puts Middlebury in a much better spot. Now with an early lead. Again, don't get me wrong, this is not a David versus Goliath matchup, but you are talking about a Messiah team that's won 44 games in a row.
Right.
And there comes a lot of credit with that, so for Middlebury to strike first is a big deal. By the way, we didn't have a chance to tell you about Middlebury's head coach, Catherine DiLorenzo. She's in her 17th year, 265 wins, 60 losses while at Middlebury. But in her 27 years coaching, she's amassed 360 wins, and she's built this program now into a national powerhouse. Messiah feeling a little bit of pressure, and they take the ball up the field quickly. This one will come as a free hit just outside the circle. You saw Catherine DiLorenzo there near the middle. Middlebury gets it back. Messiah College, they have been in this national championship game twice before the year 2000, back in '84 and in '95. But then they started this really impressive run of getting to this game, but not winning it. They were runner-up in '01, '02. The ball is missed out wide right of the net. '01, '02, '05, '06, '09, and 2010. It almost became mentally debilitating for them. They had that extra mental hurdle they had to try and get over. It was as though a national championship just wasn't meant to be, but finally last year they were able to pull it off, and it was really a game for the ages. They beat Tufts in a shootout, and they did it in the snow.
Snowstorm.
And in fact, we still have some of the archived video coverage here on NCAA.com. I would encourage you to check it out if you haven't seen it. Brooke Good often told me this week leading up to the Final Four that she still sometimes has to pinch herself that it actually finally happened for them. But she tries to just focus on the here and now, although it is nice to finally be rewarded on that big stage when you've been working so hard for it.
And they're not going to panic right here. They're playing solid. They're going to still work to get that ball into the scoring circle.
Kezia Lote was looking for her All-American teammate, Carissa Gaiman. Just out of her reach. Lauren Schweppe, they're defending. Long hit goes back to Landis. By the way, in case you're wondering, there is no relationship between Shayna Landis, the defender, and Shelby Landis in goal. In fact, their names are spelled slightly differently, so if you're wondering if perhaps they were related, that is not the case. That being said, from a Middlebury perspective, Erin Nicholas had a chance to play her sister in the semis on Friday, and Middlebury strikes again. It's Grace Jennings, and the Panthers lead 2-0.
Nice job with the reverse stick right there, poking that ball through, putting it into the goal.
Timeout called for on the field by Messiah. It was just a defensive breakdown. Shayna Landis turns it over in a bad spot, and here we are, not even 15 minutes in, and the team with a 44-game winning streak right now is just reeling. It's not over. It's
not over, but a good timeout right here by Coach Good. Really good timeout to settle them down, remind them of who they are, how they've gotten here. 2 goals is not insurmountable by this team, who I believe has scored 92 goals this season. So it may seem a little grim right now, but we're very early in the game.
Again, they haven't lost this year, but when they've played against some of the best competition in the country, they at times have struggled to put the ball in the goal. For example, when they played Salisbury earlier in the year, it was only a 2-1 victory in overtime. In part of their NCAA tournament run, they played Alvernia University and beat them 2-1. Messiah, of course, with just a 1-0 victory over the College of New Jersey in their most recent game to get to this stage. So while they certainly have the firepower of scoring 5 or more goals, which they've done on a half a dozen occasions, there are times where the offense gets into a lull, and that's where Middlebury is kind of hoping they can come up with a big one.
And Middlebury, on the flip side, games leading up to the semifinals, scored 10 goals in 2 games. They won 5-0 and 5-0, so they have the ability to put the ball into the net.
So often when you get into tournament play, it's about who's playing well in the tournament. It's not always about the entire body of work, and that's why we have regular season champions and tournament champions.
Right. But let's not count Messiah out. They look like they still have a lot in them. Shelby Landis is sprinting back to her goal. I'm sure she's got a renewed sense of, we're going to take care of this.
And yet for Middlebury, a team whose mantra is quality over quantity, they've got 2 goals in 14 minutes in the national championship game and can play much more relaxed at this point.
That they can. And there's something to be said for being relaxed out here.
It's a tough takedown, and the card's coming out.
The card.
It's against Lauren Schweppe. It's a green card.
She anchors their defense, so I think Middlebury now has to really, they've got to pull together defensively, because she is that center back that has been marking Gaiman very closely.
So the green card is for a 2-minute penalty. You're right, Schweppe is so critical to their defensive efforts. They need her veteran presence out there. So they'll have to play down a player for 2 minutes. The sun is quickly setting on Traeger Stadium in Louisville, and Middlebury scores twice before the sun goes down. Donahue trying to change that. She had a big game on Friday.
She sure did. That shot she took from over on the right side didn't even look like it had an angle to go into the goal, and it slid right in.
Messiah and the College of New Jersey are arguably the top 2 most consistently successful programs in field hockey at this level. And they played a low-scoring game. Messiah ended up with a 1-0 win, and their 1 goal that Donahue scored came on their 4th consecutive penalty corner. And it came at a point where it looked like the play had kind of finished off. And then all of a sudden, Donahue, from a near impossible angle, just flicked it home. Meanwhile, this one's loose in the crease, finding Donahue's stick. And a penalty corner coming.
Good for Donahue right there to go to that ball and create the foul.
Boy, if Messiah can strike quickly back.
I'm sure that's their game plan right now, is let's put it in.
Trying to take advantage of the +1 out on the field.
Right. And as you said, Schweppe is a significant part of their defense. So this will be a handful right here. I love the way goalie Furback is talking to her team. Here, she's only a freshman, but she's talking to her defenders.
Kezia Lote, a junior from McClure, Pennsylvania, on the insert. To Donahue on the top. She slides it forward. Ricochets around and still a chance. That one knocked away.
Nice save by Furback right there.
It was Wilkerson. He tried to elevate it just a little bit as Schweppe returns. Furback with a great save.
Great angle right there.
Still not out of harm's way, though. If you're just joining us, Middlebury has scored twice already. Once on a deflection that was put back in, and once on a bad turnover in the defensive end for Messiah that the Panthers quickly put into the back of the cage. And the defending national champion Messiah Falcons are in a 2-0 hole about midway through our first half. Donahue cracks one ahead, still loose, and is blown dead right near Carissa Gaiman. How much pressure does this put on a player like Gaiman, who's certainly achieved a lot of the high accolades like the All-American honors and, among the best in the conference? Does it put more of an emphasis on her? Well,
I'm sure because she didn't score on Friday, she knows she's leading the team right now in scoring. And when they're down 2, I have to think.
Well, Middlebury just put another one in the back of the cage, and it is 3-0 Panthers. This time, Julia Richards, and Middlebury is steamrolling their way over the #1 team in the country.
And there are no more timeouts. So the Messiah has got to pull themselves together right here on the field. Time for their 6 seniors to really dig deep and get their teammates going. But to finish the thought about Gaiman, she's got to be thinking now that she's got to do something. Even though it's a full team effort, in her mind, her job is to score.
I don't even know if Middlebury could have dreamt of a start this good. It is certainly a nightmare of a beginning of this game for Messiah. Donahue knocked off the ball. 3 Middlebury goals in less than 20 minutes. If you're a Panthers fan, I told you before the game you're going to score 3 goals, you'd probably take your chances.
And they said maybe for a full game, but not early on. And Messiah has got to regroup without the benefit of taking a timeout right here.
That one's deflected off of a Middlebury stick. So a long hit coming. Meanwhile, you just saw Catherine DiLorenzo with her normally calm and quiet demeanor. It's not for a lack of passion, but she likes her team to try and take on that mindset of just staying in the moment. She said, "We don't talk about winning ever. We don't talk about getting back to this stage." She said, "We didn't even mention as a team about going to the Final Four until we had won our regional and gotten back to this stage." She said, "We just try to put together quality performances," and she frequently used the phrase, fall in love with the process, the process of just trying to perfect your craft. Well, it is so very much paying off for the Panthers right now.
It sure is.
Middlebury in white, Messiah in navy. This is the Division III National Championship game on NCAA.com. And the Middlebury Panthers are shocking the field hockey world right now. Not shocking that they're winning, but in the way that they're doing it. Grace Jennings
Foot
slaps
race
it across.
right there.
Whistled dead and then pulled back for a moment. By the way, this is our third and final championship game of the day. If you didn't know, all three NCAA divisions were holding their championships in conjunction with one another this year. And we would like to thank our gracious hosts at the University of Louisville. They've been great all weekend. But congratulations to Division II Shippensburg and to the Division I champion UConn Huskies. Shippensburg has repeated and won their third in 5 years, and the Huskies completed an undefeated regular season. Middlebury in a great place, and they just let it slip through the crease. It's still alive, though, as Annie Leonard.
Nice. Forcing the corner.
You're right, draws the penalty corner. If Middlebury could get a fourth first-half goal, I think the Messiah bench might start looking around at each other going, what just happened? As if maybe they haven't already.
I'd like to see the Messiah young ladies talking a bit more. They look pretty shell-shocked right here, and I think they need to somehow bring each other up.
Audrey Quirk to insert. Right at the top, Leonard lays it off, deflected around. Kelly Coyle with her back to it, turns and strikes one and wins another corner.
Interesting that we haven't seen a direct shot from Middlebury. They're moving that ball all over the inside of the circle on these corners.
Right, it's almost as if they're just trying to wear out the defense from shifting and sliding back and forth. Again to the top. This time it's dragged across the turf. Up high. And another penalty corner. So they get the play from the near sideline. Brooke Good can't help but wonder how this first half has gotten away from the Falcons. Slid to the top. Leonard dishes off. Jennings tried to go back to her.
And another corner.
About a fourth one. This is all too reminiscent of how Messiah scored against the College of New Jersey on Friday.
Yes, it is. Just wearing down the defense. Trying to get someone out of position to get that ball slipping through right into the goal.
Cork to the far side this time. It's Marissa Baker. Now Leonard has a great look, and it almost got deflected in. Nearly Kelly Coyle's second of the night, and Messiah avoids a disaster.